Hello and welcome to my new series, World Tattoo History. My name is Keith and I'll be taking you on this journey through the history of tattooing across the world. Considering that tattooing is a visual medium, this journey will be done primarily through video. I will feature images of tattoos from various cultures to complement the spoken audio. I will also put the audio up on SoundCloud for those who prefer a podcast approach. As for my reasoning for undertaking this project, I recently got several tattoos of my own. I soon be curious as to how the art developed, and I began my research. I've said this will be a history of tattooing across the world. However, the first tattoos were created by prehistoric societies. The development, practices, and significance of tattoos varies widely across cultures. It may have started as early as the Upper Paleolithic period. The best evidence of tattooing from these societies comes from preserved human remains. I am using an article published in 2016 by Dieter Wolf et al. In the Journal of Archaeological Science as a guide to the chronology of current tattooing evidence. The first evidence of tattooing comes from the Utsel Alps in South Tyrol, Italy. This is on the northern border of Italy, circled in red. Now, a pair of hikers, Erica and Helmut Simon, were making their descent to the last peak of the Tisenjak area on the afternoon of September 19, 1991. Here we see one of the two peaks in the area, and here we see another peak with a monument to a certain someone we'll get to in just a moment. They decided to take a history-making shortcut. They strolled past a gully, which to their surprise and horror, contained a weathered corpse. Here we see the face-down, naturally mummified corpse buried in the ice. The corpse was quickly excavated and studied extensively. Here we see the strange position that he was found in. According to radiocarbon dating, Utsi, named after the Utsel Alps where he was found, lived in the time frame of 3370 to 3100 BC. This makes him the first archaeological evidence of tattooing by about 500 years. Initially, there was some confusion about the number of tattoos that Utsi had, with numbers ranging from 49 to 59 tattoos. An Italian research team re-examined Utsi using modern cameras and specialized hypercalorimetric multispectral imaging software in 2015. This re-examination determined that Utsi actually had 61 tattoos divided into 19 groups of lines and further divided into 15 tattoo sites on his body. Note tattoo site T_15. These are the tattoos that the Italian research team discovered with their new methods. The image shows how this group is invisible to the naked eye. As for the tattoos themselves, they are mostly thin, black, parallel lines focused on the legs and other joints. These tattoos were created using soot and ash, likely taken from a fireplace. Utsi also has two X-like tattoos with the same thin black lines, one on the side of his right knee and the other near his left Achilles tendon. Radiological studies determined that the tattoos correspond to degenerating joints. So researchers suspected the tattoos were an attempt to treat the pain caused by this degeneration, may have been a form of early acupuncture. According to Dorfer et al., 9 of Utsi's tattoos lie on or within 6 millimeters of traditional acupuncture points. 5 more tattoos are either 6 to 13 millimeters away from acupuncture points or lie on acupuncture meridians. The image shows the alignment of Utsi's tattoos with the various acupuncture points. Note in the lower image, the arrow points to a very important acupuncture point and also to one of Utsi's 2 cross tattoos. Utsi may have gotten these tattoos to make acupuncture treatments easier to perform. One of the tattoos revealed in the modern re-examine, however, was located on Utsi's chest, and that's the T_15 that I mentioned, the one on Utsi's rib. This has caused some to question the pain treatment theory, but others assert that Utsi's ailments, including gallstones and worm infestations, may have led to chest pain. There is no evidence, however, of whatever tools were used to create these tattoos on Utsi. Our next example of prehistoric tattooing comes from the Rostov province of Russia. Several excavations of catacombs from the Don River catacomb culture in the late 2000s revealed a couple of tattooed remains. Here we see a map with the 2 sites of the excavations. The next image is a picture of what the Don River looks like. Based on radiocarbon dating, these catacombs were from 2600 to 2400 BC. about 500 years after Ötzi died. The remains of the individual from the first site had a simple snake tattoo on his shin bone along with several other lines. Here is an image of the tattoo remains and what they may have looked like on the flesh. This tattoo was located near a break in the calf bone of this man, which speaks to the idea that the tattoo may have been intended as a treatment. Tribes in the area thought that the snake had healing properties and often placed images on medical amulets. The tattoos were imprinted on the bones of this individual due to the decaying of soft tissue between the dermis and the underlying bones. The remains from the other catacomb include hand bones with irregular lines and black dots. The tattoos of the two remains were created using a sooty substance, just like Ötzi's tattoos were. Other early catacomb remains show tattoos created using red ochre. The tattoos may have been created by making small incisions in the skin and then rubbing in the soot or the ochre. There's also been bone tools called calami discovered in the other catacombs, which may have been used to apply tattoos. They were hollow and they could store pigment within them, allowing it to be inserted into the dermis. And so an illustration of a calami is depicted on the left side of the image. These tools are made of hollow bone and were capable of applying either liquid or solid ochre solutions. Next on the list of earliest tattoos was a male mummy from the Chinchorro culture of South America. These people inhabited the Atacama coast between 7020 and 1110 BC, specifically in the orange and yellow region on the map. This next image shows the oft-desolate environment of the area. They were a pre-ceramic and pre-metallurgic people who utilized both natural and artificial mummification practices on their dead. They present the earliest known evidence of mummification techniques, with their earliest artificial mummies dating back to 5000 BC. Now, pictured is one of these artificial mummies. Their first mummy bearing a tattoo dates from approximately 2600 to 2000 BC. This individual underwent a natural mummification process. This image is an illustration of what he may have looked like, and we see the man in question had a series of black dots made of soot on his upper lip, 12 in all. Unlike the dawn of our catacomb culture, there are no remains of any tattooing implements. Radiocarbon dating sets his death to be approximately 4,000 years before present. Allison et al. Mistakenly said his death and mummification occurs in 4000 BC. This led Allison et al. To make the claim that this Chinchorro man predated Ötzi and was therefore the first example of human tattooing. So with the proper radiocarbon dates in mind, we see this is clearly a false claim, and that while early, the Chinchorro tattoos are by no means the first evidence we have. So if you're looking at any of the modern articles or studies, they may make mention to this fact, and just remember that, again, Ötzi was first. Ötzi is the reigning champion when it comes to the first tattoos. The next series of tattooed remains originated from Egypt and Nubia during the period of 2300 to 1500 BC. Nubian archaeological surveys during the early 20th century revealed a number of tattooed mummies. These mummies had tattoos on their abdomens, chests, arms, and legs. Oftentimes there would be tattooed figurines accompanying these mummies, perhaps to show how they looked in life. Here we see several ceramic pieces from the Pichi Museum depicting women bearing tattoos. These mummies were from the C group of Nubia, which existed from 2345 to 1500 BC. The most famous of the Egyptian tattooed mummies was a priestess of Hathor named Amunet, found at the Deir el-Bahri temple. The site is circled on the map to give context of the site. Amunet was from Egyptian dynasty 11, which reigned between 2134 and 1991 BC. This next image shows an artist's conception of what Amunet's tattoos look like. Amunet bears a row of dots encased in 2 lines on her left shoulder and breast. On her right arm, below the elbow, were a series of 9 rows of dotted tattoo marks. She has a rectangular-shaped series of dots below the sternum and a square-shaped patch above her navel. Below her navel is an intricate series of tattoos forming an elliptical pattern. Additionally, she has a diamond-shaped tattoo on her right thigh. All her tattoos appear dark blue in color, and several other tattooed mummies were found close by to Amunet. They bore repeated dotted lozenge shapes across their chests, arms, and legs. on the dorsum of their feet and across their abdominal regions. The lozenge designs, made up of 16 dots and several lozenges, form patterns that run across the abdomen and around the upper arms and thighs, both inside and out and down the chest. Since many of these tattoos were on the abdomen, their series of lozenges would expand to form a web during pregnancy. In this way, we can see that these intricate tattoos likely didn't hold the pain treatment reduction purposes of some of the other tattoos we've looked at. They seem to be closer to the God River catacomb culture in purpose, invoking a symbolic connection to achieve a better outcome for the mother and child. Another interesting difference between Egyptian tattooing practices and other early tattooing is that tattooing seems to have been done primarily on women in Egypt and Nubia. Of the 43 mummies found from the C group period, around 2000 BC, there's been but one piece, and that's of dubious evidence of male tattooing. Additionally, archaeological evidence of ceramic figurines depicting tattoos are almost invariably female. Evidence of tools used to create these tattoos is again lacking. Some suspect that tattooing implements have been misidentified. For example, items UC7790 from the Petrie collection pictured on the screen, a series of 7 metal implements initially thought to be tweezers. Modern examination by Charlotte Booth suggests these bronze slivers were more likely tattooing needles. Thank you for listening to the first episode. I'll have one more anthropology-focused episode dealing with the 1500 to 500 BC period. Once we've moved past those tattoos, I plan to have episodes dealing with the tattooing practices of various cultures individually. I welcome all comments, critical or otherwise. If you like what I'm doing, find this interesting, the like and subscribe buttons are below. I'll also post a donations link for those feeling generous. Funds will go towards a better microphone setup and getting a website to centralize all the content I'm putting out there. Now, thank you for listening once again, and stay tuned. Keith, out.